to believe that love means protecting people from pain, rescuing them from difficulty, shielding them from the harsh realities of life. And when someone we care about is suffering, our immediate impulse is to rush in and fix it, to make it better, to take away their pain. But I want to suggest to you that this impulse, as natural and well-intentioned as it might be, is not actually love. It's something else entirely. Real love, genuine love, the kind of love that actually serves the other person's highest good, often requires you to stand back and allow them to suffer. And this is one of the most difficult things to understand, one of the hardest things to accept, because it goes against everything we've been taught about what it means to care for someone. Let me be very clear about what I'm saying here. I'm not talking about cruelty. I'm not talking about indifference. I'm not suggesting that you should enjoy watching people suffer or that you should abandon people in their time of need. What I'm talking about is something much more subtle and much more profound. I'm talking about the difference between helping someone and enabling them, between supporting someone's growth and stunting it, between genuine compassion and what we might call idiot compassion. Think about it this way. Imagine a butterfly struggling to emerge from its cocoon. You watch it pushing and straining, trying to break free from this tight enclosure, and your heart goes out to it. You think, I'll help. I'll cut open the cocoon and free this butterfly. So you take your scissors and carefully cut the cocoon open, and the butterfly emerges. But something's wrong. Its wings are shriveled and weak. It can't fly, and within a short time, it dies. What you didn't know, what you couldn't see, is that the struggle to emerge from the cocoon is not a design flaw. It's essential. The effort of pushing through that tight opening forces, fluid from the butterfly's body into its wings, giving them the strength they need to fly, by rescuing it from its struggle, by trying to spare its suffering, you've actually crippled it. Your compassion, your desire to help, has destroyed the very thing you were trying to save. And this is what happens in human relationships all the time. Parents who can't bear to see their children struggle end up raising children who can't handle the slightest difficulty. Friends who always rescue each other from the consequences of their actions create relationships based on dependency rather than genuine connection. Partners who protect each other from every discomfort never develop the strength that comes from facing reality together. The person who truly loves you understands something crucial. They understand that suffering is not the enemy. Suffering is often the teacher. It's the fire that burns away illusion. It's the pressure that creates diamonds. It's the resistance that builds strength. And when they love you, when they genuinely care about your growth and your development as a human being, they will sometimes let you suffer, not because they don't care, but precisely because they do. Now, this doesn't mean that someone who loves you will never help you. Of course they will. But there's a world of difference between helping and rescuing. Helping means supporting someone in doing what they need to do. Rescuing means doing it for them. Helping preserves dignity and builds capability. Rescuing creates dependency and weakness. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone you love is in a destructive relationship. They keep going back to someone who treats them badly, who doesn't respect them, who causes them pain. Every time they come to you in tears, you comfort them, you tell them everything will be okay, maybe you even give them money or a place to stay, and then they go right back. And this cycle repeats over and over. Now, you might think you're being loving, you're being there for them, you're helping, but are you really? Or are you actually enabling the pattern to continue? Are you providing just enough support that they never have to face the full consequences of their choices? Are you, in your compassion, actually preventing them from hitting bottom, from reaching that point where they finally say enough and make a real change? Someone who truly loves this person might do something very different. They might say, I love you, and I can see you're suffering, but I can't keep doing this. I can't keep helping you go back to something that's destroying you. When you're ready to actually leave, when you're ready to do the hard work of building a better life, I'll be here. But I won't participate in this pattern anymore. This is hard. This feels harsh. This doesn't feel like love as we've been conditioned to understand it. But this is real love. This is the love that actually serves the other person, even though it might not feel good, even though it might cause temporary pain, even though it might make you seem like the bad guy. You see, false love sentimental love, what we might call ego love, is more concerned with how we feel than with what the other person actually needs. We rescue people because we can't stand to see them in pain. We fix things because their suffering makes us uncomfortable. We enable destructive patterns because saying no, setting boundaries, allowing consequences, these things make us feel bad. We want to be the hero. We want to be appreciated. We want to maintain the image of ourselves as caring, compassionate, always there to help. But true love isn't about us. It's about them. And sometimes what they need is not rescue, but reality. Sometimes what serves them is not protection, but consequence. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is step back and let them face what they need to face, learn what they need to learn, grow in the ways they need to grow. This is particularly true when it comes to personal responsibility. Everyone has to take responsibility for their own life, their own choices, their own growth. No one can do this for someone else. And when you constantly intervene, constantly rescue, constantly protect someone from the consequences of their actions, you're actually robbing them of the opportunity to develop this essential capability. Think about addiction. Anyone who's dealt with addiction, either personally or with someone they love, knows this painful truth. The addict will not change until they're ready to change. And often, they won't be ready until the pain of continuing exceeds the pain of stopping. If you keep cushioning them from that pain, if you keep bailing them out, covering for them, making excuses for them, you're actually prolonging their suffering, not alleviating it. You're keeping them sick in the name of helping them. The person who truly loves an addict will set boundaries. They'll say, I love you, but I won't enable your addiction. I won't give you money. I won't lie for you. I won't protect you from the consequences of your choices. When you're ready to get help, I'll support that, but I won't support your self-destruction. And this feels terrible. It feels like abandonment. It feels cruel. But it's the only thing that actually has a chance of helping. Now, I want to be very careful here because this can easily be misunderstood. I'm not saying you should be cold or harsh or indifferent. I'm not saying you should never offer comfort or support. What I'm saying is that real love, mature love, wise love, knows the difference between supporting someone and enabling them. It knows when to step in and when to step back. It knows that sometimes the most compassionate thing you can do is allow someone to face the full reality of their situation. There's an old Zen story about a student who came to the master in great distress. Master, he said, I'm suffering terribly. Please help me. The master looked at him and said, who is suffering? The student was confused. I am, he said. I'm in pain. The master replied, then you help yourself. And he walked away. This seems harsh, doesn't it? But what the master understood is that some kinds of suffering can only be resolved from within. Some lessons can only be learned through direct experience. Some growth can only happen when we stop looking outside ourselves for rescue and take responsibility for our own inner work. The person who truly loves you understands this. They know that they cannot do your inner work for you. They cannot learn your lessons for you. They cannot grow for you. And so, even though it pains them to see you suffer, even though every instinct might tell them to rush in and fix it, they resist. They hold space for you. They believe in your capacity to handle this. They trust the process, but they don't rescue you from it. This is what I mean by letting you suffer. It's not indifference. It's not cruelty. It's a profound respect for your autonomy, your capability, your need to learn and grow through your own experience. It's trusting that you have what it takes to handle your life even when you're not sure you do. It's believing in your strength even when you feel weak. And here's what's interesting. When someone loves you this way, when they refuse to rescue you, when they let you face your own challenges and struggles, something remarkable happens. You discover that you're more capable than you thought. You find resources within yourself that you didn't know existed. You develop confidence, resilience, wisdom that can only come from successfully navigating difficulty. But if someone always rescues you, you never discover this. You remain forever dependent, forever weak, forever looking outside yourself for someone to save you. And this is not love. This is a kind of prison. even if it's a comfortable one. Let me tell you about another aspect of this. Sometimes suffering is simply part of life, and there's nothing anyone can do about it. People get sick, relationships end, people die, careers fail, dreams don't work out. These are the facts of human existence. And when you're going through one of these inevitable difficulties, the person who truly loves you doesn't pretend it's not happening. They don't offer false reassurances or empty platitudes. They don't try to fix what can't be fixed. Instead, they sit with you in your suffering. They acknowledge it. They validate it. They let you know you're not alone in it. But they don't try to take it away. They understand that some suffering is sacred, that some pain is necessary, that some grief must be fully felt in order to be fully released. This is very different from our cultural tendency to try to eliminate all discomfort, to medicate away all pain, to distract ourselves from anything unpleasant. The person who truly loves you allows you to feel what you're feeling. They give you permission to be exactly where you are. They don't rush you through your grief. They don't tell you to look on the bright side when you're in the darkness. They trust that you can handle your own experience, and they simply make themselves available as you move through it. This is a mature kind of love, a wise kind of love. It's the love of someone who understands that suffering is not the enemy, that discomfort is not a sign that something's wrong, that pain is often the doorway to growth. This person loves you enough to let you have your own experience, even when that experience is difficult. Now, let's talk about when this doesn't apply. There are certainly times when immediate help is needed. If someone is in acute danger, if they're truly incapable of helping themselves, if they lack the resources or knowledge to handle a situation, then of course you help. I'm not advocating for some kind of cruel social Darwinism where we just let people drown. The key is in understanding the difference between crisis and pattern. A crisis requires intervention. A pattern requires boundaries. If someone falls in the river and can't swim, you throw them a rope. But if someone keeps walking into the river and then calling for help, something else is going on, and continuing to rescue them is not actually helping them. It's enabling a pattern that needs to be broken. The person who truly loves you can tell the difference. They respond appropriately to genuine crisis. But they also recognize patterns, and they have the wisdom and the strength to not participate in those patterns, even when it's difficult, even when you might be angry with them, even when it would be easier to just keep doing what they've always done. This brings me to another important point. Allowing someone to suffer doesn't mean being passive or uncaring. It often means doing something much harder than rushing in to fix things. It means having difficult conversations. It means setting boundaries. It means saying no when no is what's needed. It means refusing to participate in someone's self-destruction, even when they beg you to. Think about an intervention for someone with an addiction. The people who truly love the addict gather together and say, essentially, we will not enable this anymore. We love you too much to watch you destroy yourself. Here are our boundaries. Here are the consequences if you don't get help. This is an act of profound love. It's also an act that allows the person to suffer. It removes the cushions, the safety nets, the enabling structures. It says, you must face this now. And this is hard. This is terribly hard. Because in the short term, it often makes things worse. The person might get angry, they might reject you, they might suffer more acutely for a while. But in the long term, this is often what creates the conditions for real change. Someone who truly loves you is willing to be the bad guy, if that's what you need. They're willing to let you be angry with them. They're willing to maintain boundaries even when you're pleading with them to give in. They're willing to let you face consequences even when it breaks their heart to watch. Because they know that protecting you from reality is not protecting you at all. It's imprisoning you. Here's something else that's important to understand. When someone refuses to rescue you, when they let you suffer, they're actually communicating something very important. They're saying, I believe in you. I believe you have what it takes to handle this. I believe you're stronger than you think you are. I trust your capacity to learn, to grow, to figure this out. This is a profound gift. It's the opposite of the message sent by constant rescuing, which is essentially, you're too weak to handle this on your own. You need me to save you. You're not capable. That's not love. That's control masquerading as care. That's ego masquerading as compassion. Real love empowers. False love enslaves. Real love builds strength. False love creates dependency. Real love respects autonomy. False love seeks to control. And sometimes, real love has to stand back and let someone struggle, not because it doesn't care, but because it cares deeply about that person's growth and development. There's a beautiful concept in Buddhism called skillful compassion. It recognizes that true compassion is not just about making people feel better in the moment. It's about what actually serves their highest good. And sometimes what serves their highest good is allowing them to face difficulty, to experience consequences, to learn through their own direct experience. The person who loves you with this kind of skillful compassion can hold two things at once. They can care deeply about your well-being and still let you face your own challenges. They can have tremendous empathy for your suffering and still not rescue you from it. They can wish things were easier for you and still respect that easy is not always what serves growth. This is a very mature way of loving, and it's quite rare. Most people can't do it. They get too uncomfortable. They need to be needed. They need to be the rescuer. They can't sit with the discomfort of watching someone they love struggle. So they intervene, they fix, they smooth things over, and in doing so, they prevent the very growth that the struggle would have catalyzed. But the person who truly loves you has developed the capacity to sit with discomfort. They've done their own inner work. They know the difference between their own anxiety and what actually serves you. They can tolerate their own feelings of helplessness without turning them into ineffective action. They can be present without being intrusive, supportive without being controlling. This is what love looks like when it's been refined by wisdom. It's not sentimental. It's not soft. It's strong and clear and sometimes quite fierce. It says, I love you enough to let you learn your own lessons. I love you enough to trust your process. I love you enough to not stand between you and your own growth, even when that growth is painful. And if you're fortunate enough to have someone in your life who loves you this way, you might not always appreciate it in the moment. You might sometimes wish they would just fix things, just make it easier, just take away the pain. But if you're paying attention, you'll notice something. You'll notice that you're becoming stronger, more capable, more resilient. You'll notice that you're learning to trust yourself. You'll notice that you're growing in ways you wouldn't have if someone had always rescued you. This is the gift of being allowed to suffer. This is what true love offers you. Not comfort at any cost,